Hello and welcome to my channel. Well, thank you and welcome to all my new subscribers and all my old subscribers. Basically all my subscribers because um, the other day Patty's Potato Peelers put a video up with a giveaway, and he said all you have to do for the giveaway is, leave a comment here and go subscribe to William's Knife Life. So that boost, you can see it on my subscriber, list chart. It was chugging along, and the rate it looked like it was going, I was at like almost 900, and I figured it would take me another month or two at my regular rate, before I would reach 1,000 subscribers. Now, the 1,000 subscriber mark is something that YouTube arbitrarily set up. They just decided that anyone below this level doesn't get certain things. And one of the things that you don't get is they're still going to run ads on your channel, but you aren't going to get any of it. Now, not that that's any big money, but still, it's just kind of like the principle of the thing. You create this content, they run ads on it, and you're not allowed to get it unless you reach a certain level, which they've decided is 1,000 subscribers. They could arbitrarily decide the level is 10,000 subscribers, So I don't like that, because you're providing content and they're making money off of it. And only if you get what they determine, I guess, successful, do you get some money out of it. Anyway, I don't want to harp on that too much, but that's just one of my little mini rants there, that I don't think is right, because you can have small content providers that are doing a hell of a job, putting up stuff. I'm not talking about myself, like small channels that they put a lot of work into their stuff, and they don't get as many views because they're not being promoted by, you're not a successful channel. It's word of mouth. You have to just stumble across it or something, Anyway, that was really the only number that really concerned me on subscribers, and even that one, I was gonna get to eventually. I mean, like, I I appreciate everybody subscribing, but I don't push for it. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe, and if you don't, I'd rather have people that want to be here than people that don't want to be here. But anyways, I really appreciate all the help from the community. It wasn't just Patty's Potato Peelers. It was Big Red EDC last night. When I went to sleep, it was at like 990, and I said, well, eventually, I'll get there. And they noticed it on Saturday Night Knife Live, and during that live, they pushed me over 1,000. But there were other people along the way, other content creators that have done, recognitions for me. And if I don't mention your name or anything, it's not that I don't appreciate it or anything. But there's just, it's a community, basically. It's not one individual in the knife community that, if they see they can help you in any way, and subscribers is something, that the small channels means a big thing for a lot of people. Now, for me, like I said, I had another channel before, and I gave it up when I had like 700, 600 subscribers. I was on the way to making 1,000, and because my heart wasn't into it, I just switched over to knives. I'm not going to do that with this knife channel. I'm not going to leave it. And the other thing is, comments are getting, I try to respond and comment on every comment that comes across my channel. But as you get bigger, it's going to get harder, and eventually it's going to get almost impossible to do that. Now, that doesn't mean don't stop commenting or anything, but what I do is, when I see your comment, I usually give it a heart and a like. Even if it's, you know, even if I don't agree with you or whatever, I'm going to give you those 2 things to let you know that I've seen your comment. And usually I try to respond to it, but man, YouTube loves to hide comments, man. I'm telling you. I'll sit there, I'll devote one day, usually like Sunday, I'll sit there and I'll go through and I'll look through and try to respond to all my comments. And the thing will pop up and say, congratulations, you're all caught up. You know, there's no comments you haven't responded to. I'm like, all right, cool. And then another week goes by and you look and there's a comment from 2 or 3 months ago. Now, how could you have been caught up before? So they're hiding these comments from, they have to. They're hiding these comments for you for some reason. I don't know. It's a YouTube game. You know, programmers get bored or something. Anyway, what I wanted to say is my channel is mostly about traditionals, but I do have fixed blades. I have flippers. I get into sometimes kind of bushcraft type of stuff. I do silly videos where if I get bored and if it makes it past the copyright, you can't have any copyright strikes to be monetized or anything. And even if you're not monetized, if you put up any content up there that's copyrighted, you can get a claim. It's not necessarily a strike, but it'll be a claim where the choices are: you can run the video, but they're gonna make money off all the ads. Well, you know, that's fine with me if they want to be that way. The worst one is you can't run the video. No one, the audience, no one will be able to see it. And man, sometimes I put a lot of work. There's some funny ones that just didn't make it because I sat there and recorded the video doing the voiceover. Then I might add some sound effects like horse hooves or doors opening and stuff like that. And then I have to compile that video, which on the older phone it would take a while. Once that one was all compiled, then I have to upload it to YouTube. That could take a while. Then YouTube does its checks, and when it does its checks, that's when it looks for copyright claims, and that's when I'll see a red dot up there, and you have to click on it to see what the extent of it is. And a lot of times it's nobody can see it. So I save the video to private, and then I delete it. It's like you just basically wasted all that time. I don't mind entertaining myself, but I'd rather entertain others. You know, I mean, if I do something funny, if you tell a really funny joke and you're the only one around, yeah, that's not as fun as other people finding humor in it. Anyway, that's just a rambling update on my channel, and a thanks to everyone that subscribed. Oh, and this brother knife. We're going to see if we can see these. I love all the brother knives that I've had. And I love this one because of the contouring and the feeling in the handle. But it's a D2 Scandy. And I think that's the first D2 Scandy that I've had. Now, D2 is nice and tough and everything. But potentially what can happen... Well, if it's going to focus on this, come on, focus, you bone. I might have to do it the manual way and zoom in. You see those? Now it's a Scandy. So if you get chips like that one, you get chips in the blade and that one, then to keep it a zero grind, you're going to have to drop this edge back here some. Or what a lot of people do is they make it they call it a Scandivex, you know, where they'll sit there and put a convex right here on it, or, you know, another micro bevel, so that you don't have to take all this metal back. It's just a shoulder. This thing is kind of flat, but still, you know what I mean? Let's switch over. Let's see if it'll do a... I don't think it'll... Let's see. There we go. We was on the wrong camera. You can kind of see it better there. It's still sharp as hell. It's just, that's the first time I've had, well, that cold steel fin wolf or fin hawk, the folding one. The first time I did that pallet, just feathering on some pallet wood, it had some chipping and or rolling. I don't remember which one it was, but anyways, after I took that out, it's never given me a problem. This one may be the same way because this was the original edge, but all I was doing was shaving fat wood. Let's see if this guy will zoom super close. Will you? No, don't look back there. Look over here. This camera. It's supposed to be a super duper camera, but I'm not so sure about the super duper part. It's a camera. Now, there's a macro I can use, but that's for like a photograph. Alright, we're zoomed in close enough, I think. You see scratches. I've been using it and trying to sharpen it. Right here, this type of stuff, I was going trying to bevel it. See, you can see where I was doing that. The rest of it was me just cutting through stuff. I still like it. It's a nice knife. The contouring on this, man, just feels great. Anytime they do a palm swell like that on you, oh, you're going to love it. And finger groove up here, the more your finger can sink in there, the more natural it feels. See, and I got small to medium-sized hand, so you got plenty of room on these. I like it. I like the knife. I'm saying I was just disappointed with that. But anyway, and this is kind of annoying sometimes when you're feather sticking or carving a lot. I don't like jimping here. I know it's for like, oh, if you do this, but I'm not attacking beavers, you know, or badgers and stuff that are attacking me. I'm not worried about my hand slipping so far up and I'm going to come off and somehow cut myself. Most of the time, this is for pushing down. Now, this is a personal preference thing. Depends on what you use your knife for. But for me, I'd rather have it smooth right there. Because I never pushed down that hard on something that my thumb slipped off. It's possible. I mean, you know, sometimes I think some of this stuff is, they're just doing it because everybody else does. It may have a practical use. I know. What's your thought on jimping? You know, do you like it? Do you find it really useful, or is it annoying, or take it or leave it? Me, my personal preference is the knife feels better if I'm doing carving like this, if the whole surface area of my hand is, you know, being pushed on instead of little points digging in there. Depends on the jimping, you know. This one's not super aggressive, but you can feel it. Anyway, it's just a minor thing, but if you're using it a lot, and this one's fairly well balanced, it's kind of back here on the handle. So it's not really blade heavy. But anyway, I still like the knife, but that, like I said, that's the first one. And with Scandys, when you've got when any other knife, you know, all right, you're just going to take the edge back to the chunk, you know, I mean, to the you know, the deepest part of the chunk. And let's see if we can get this guy to do any zoomage again. You take it back to the deepest part of the chunk, and then that's it. The rest of the metal doesn't have to be, you know, bevel. But with a Scandy, you're going to have to take all the rest of that other metal off. And it's not just like going like this. To do a true, to keep that bevel the same, you'd have to take it off back here too. I don't know. This thing doesn't have to have necessarily a true scan. It's going to wind up with, as long as it's sharp. Speaking of which, I had some paper around here. I don't think you really noticed it that much. It's still sharp as hell. That's me just tearing the paper. And get out of zoomage. I'm going to do this idiot. Yeah, I feel it. I feel those little drags. You could be kind of like too nitpicky sometimes on sharpness, but I do. I have this, man, I like my blades sharp, and if they get dull, I like to sharpen them back up to sharp again, you know, however I can, with whatever I've got. So there you go. That's kind of an update. See, when I do, I get off rambling off into stuff. So they're not always, you know, super, none of them really scripted. Even the makeup ones with the, you're going to just look back in the past videos and you'll meet the animal family here. There's like, that was Terry, Boris. Of course, he's Russian and he's got an attitude, so don't start talking to him about war and stuff right now, because he didn't start it. And then we got Nigel, our reporter, trusty reporter. He used to have a mask on when he was first coming on. He had a mask on, and then he just gave up with the whole mandate stuff and said, shove your mask. He's not that aggressive of a guy, though. And those are the main characters in there. And then the westerns, like I said, those I turn the volume completely off, and then I make up a dialogue for them, and it's whatever's in my head at the time, which can be odd. It usually links up, you know, if I'll start off talking about guys in a bar talking about sarsaparilla, it'll tie in to the rest of the movie it'll have kind of a sarsaparilla theme. Anyway, I know it's not for everybody, but if I can make just a few people laugh and a few people stop worrying about whatever was bothering them, take a little bit of stress off their life, it's worth it. To me, it's worth it for that. Just, you know, and I'm not a professional comedian, you know, so not all my jokes are going to go over well, or not everybody's going to catch it. But for those that do enjoy it, that's what I'm making the video for. Those videos are for you. The rest of people, you don't have to watch it. You know, I mean, I make a playlist also of different, I'm trying to do, you know, like if it's a case knife or it's a Bowie knife or Rough Rider or whatever, I'll try to put that playlist up there also, so it'll be easier to search, because when you start getting a lot of videos, it can be kind of hard to find, especially some of your older content if you've already covered something. And sometimes it needs to be redone. So mainly what I'm doing is I'm initially looking at a lot of knives that come in, and I'm trying to use them and carry them. Some of them are just collecting things, you know, that I like this pattern, you know, copperhead or whatever, and I would see one and get one. Because I've been starting to get more American-made and more expensive knives occasionally, I'm appreciating the quality of a more expensive knife, but I still enjoy every kind of knife, man. You know, from a budget knife that's got a little, see, it's got a little game in here on it you can play. You got to line up these, it's not a real difficult game. You got to line up these little balls in an area, and I don't know what you win. But the knife itself, it's a Barlow. I mean, it's nothing special. These used to be made in America, but now they're made in China. But they were always kind of like this. Fit and finish was never, if it's together, you're lucky. It fit. And like this one, it doesn't have a super good, you know, snap or anything to it. It does have a half stop and a pin blade. But the main thing is just the fun of it. You know, these, like when Jolly Peanut is putting up his Fun Knife Friday. I haven't participated in it, but I've got a lot of ones that I consider like fun knives. I should put them up. I should participate in that because I do have a lot of these that are they're just for fun, you know. They are a knife, but they're not, you know, you're not going to go out Daniel Booning out in the forest, carving down a tree with it, fighting off a bar. I mean, you might. Then you'd be one of those people of the legends in history. So anyways, this has been long enough. Enough of a ramble. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day. I will be doing a giveaway later, 1,000 subscriber giveaway. I didn't expect to reach 1,000 this fast, so I can still set it up, but the giveaway itself is going to have to happen a little bit later. I'll put up more details about that.